Now, I turned on a motor generator here that changes the frequency of the electricity from 60 cycles to 400 because that's the frequency they use. So that radar over there is going to start to turn, but we're not radiating. That, in its day, would have put out a 1,000,000 RF watt pulse. Your microwave at home is probably 1,100 or 700 RF watts. That would cook your popcorn really quick. And unfortunately, it cooked a lot of birds. And unfortunately, they plunk these down on the high ground, which on this peninsula here is part of an ancient migratory raptor path. The raptors get funneled down to in this peninsula. And Hawk Hill is where they do the census every year. So from September through December, they count them. And some days they'll count 1,000 in one day. So they don't like each other. Raptors I'm talking about. Kites, hawks, falcons, eagles, vultures. They use each other to find out where the most optimum place is to find thermal so they can gain altitude. They see another raptor kiting, they call it, or kettling, they'll go over there because they're picking up the sea breeze or warm air that enables them to use less energy in their migration because they're going great distances from the north to the south. They're getting out of Dodge for the winter. But they had to fly in front of this stuff. So you can't blame the raptor decline entirely on DDT. Okay? Let's go in and take a look at this computer here. And then we'll go into the warhead building, and then we'll get up here, and I'll raise the missile up into launch position, hopefully. Up here. See, hey, there's another one. Perfect. We'll wait for it to get a little further away from us before we launch the missile. Matter of fact, in the battery control van, there's a button there that says launch or fire. Now that button would be red, and they call that red status until the target got within the optimum range. As soon as the target did, that button turned green. The battery control officer pushed the button, and he's up on top of that hill, and that lit up another button down here in a launch control trailer. That soldier would push a button, and the missile would go. Two people pushing buttons. Yeah, it's 1,000,000 RF watts. The high power was 10 million. So, here's what vacuum tubes look like. These are vacuum tubes. In the United Kingdom, they call them valves. And then you have capacitors and resistors. Okay? And they're just switches back there. Like switches you have, you can turn one switch on and then walk up the stairs and turn the light off. Magic. 3-way switch, or a 4-way. These are like 5- and 6-way switches. But this is doing a small math problem. It's talking to the amplifiers. The amplifiers are talking to the computers, and I'll show you the computers. So come on in. Have a seat right there. You can be the battery control officer. Can you read all those things? Very good. All right, you are good. All right. We don't need that anymore, huh? All right. So, hey, I need some radar guys. Come on, radar men. Up here. Come on up. Radar guys. No? Okay. All right. Now, they didn't spare any money here. This is the best stuff that money can buy. If you look at this, you'll see it's got a curve to it. It's concave. And that's so you can look at it from any angle and not see glare. This is all mil-spec stuff. These are oscilloscopes that would sweep around that acquisition radar, would show anything that's flying within probably 150 miles. There would be someone here with a headset on plotting a target or a potential target, and when it got within 300,000 yards, it would start showing up on these oscilloscopes. Now someone asked if there was a memory. Well, here's the memory. This is the This is what's called an event recorder, or the black box. This would show all of the keystrokes that the battery control officer and the other soldiers did in here, and would also give a reading to the computers. I was right about Windows 55. See the windows? There, all the computers were there. And that would give a continuity reading of the windings of the computers to make sure that everything was running correctly. So if your missile didn't hit the target, you could look at this and go, oh, I think that's our problem right there. Memory. Okay, and someone that was talking about cell phones, here's one. Only this one fits on a truck. But this is, you can tell when you're working in a phone company van. This is the way they transfer calls. They never connected. So, that would be the blazing skies call. If they saw an aircraft that wasn't talking back and saying it was a friend, that would alert the site that they had to go to their station. That was called blazing skies. Now, before they'd ever shoot a missile at something that didn't have its IFF on, its identification friend or foe, they would go out and take a look at it. One of the fighter squadrons, Hamilton Airfield, Naval Air Station there, or Travis, would go out and get a positive identification. They didn't want to shoot down one of our own planes or blow up a nuclear weapon for nothing. Yes.
So did any enemy planes come heading here?
No, but in Japan, they did shoot Nike Ajax missiles at Mothra and Godzilla. I saw it on a movie once. Sorry, I think that was the only time they ever launched any into bed, and it's true, they are Ajax missiles. That's an Ajax. But no, thank goodness, we never had to do that. Yes, knock on wood. So let me show you this computer. How we doing? All right, just having a good time. All right, here's our computers here. Now you saw this is the climb angle, turn angle, ballistic time, gyro, azimuth time, jet time. And here we go back to the trying to intercept computer. So this one tells the missile into its place. And right now it's at 000. And yes, the same way. But all of these are these kinds of timers. And they, like you can see them here, only they're smaller. Turn angle, climb angle. So the first steering command the missile gets is what they call a roll stabilization. It turns its belly to the target and goes up. This is very accurate, very reliable. They test fired 25,000 of these things in 20 years.
They were all programs, right? I mean, they were...
Well, this was getting information from the target tracking, target ranging radars. Actually, from the amplifiers to hear this talk to the missile tracking radar, the missile tracking radar talks to the missile.
Everything was manned. Nothing was unmanned.
It was all done by computer.
All computer.
All computer. These are amplifiers for the radars here. We're not radiating, or I would never even touch this. That's 10,000 volts and 100 amps. I wouldn't even get close to it. But these are the types of, that computers they have. So we'll move on out of here. I'm going to close those doors. Hey, you having a good time?